Okay, perfect. Namaste, everyone. My name is Manjiri Nadkarni. I'm a doctor of Ayurvedic medicine and a holistic nutritionist. My mission is to empower and heal women. My superpower is Ayurveda. For those who don't know Ayurveda, that's all we're going to talk about today. So, I practice in Sarnia, Ontario. Again, these are a few of my credentials. I'm also a base allergy therapist. I do a lot of allergy testings. I love teaching Ayurveda. I love sharing information about natural living and holistic living. I've received the Charaka Award for 2016 from APNA, which is the Association of Ayurvedic Professionals of North America, for excellence in Ayurvedic teaching. I'm also on the editorial board of an Ayurved Mantra magazine, which is a worldwide now. And I'm also on the board of the Ayurveda Association of Canada, which we just established, and I'm super excited about it. So let's get started with the training. Vegan, paleo, or keto. How do you exactly choose the perfect diet for your dosha type? And to understand why I'm hosting a webinar on this topic, this is one topic I've been asked a million times. Each person that sees me will ask me the same question: which diet really works for me? Vegan, keto, and paleo, they are three of the most popular diets today. You can see like everyone is following either one of the other diets, and they're really popular in today's world. So which one should you exactly choose? Which one is your perfect diet? Now, the tricky part with vegan, paleo, and keto are that all three are seen to be beneficial in reducing inflammation. They help you lose weight. They help you gain tons of energy, balance your sugar. They help balance hormones. So which of the exact three should you be choosing? Now, if they all three have some amazing benefits, why don't each diet work for each and every person? Because there is no magic pill, and not every diet is going to work for everyone. Now, I want to elaborate a little bit on this one. I had a client some time ago. It was a middle-aged man. He was suffering from cholesterol. He was suffering from high blood pressure, diabetes, obesity. So everything was a little skewed in his body, and he tried a vegan diet, and it worked amazing for him. He lost a ton of weight. He gained a lot of energy. He was feeling absolutely amazing. But then he came with his young daughter who was 16, and she was losing so much weight on the same diet that he was eating. She couldn't walk to my clinic as well. Like, she couldn't walk without support. They had to actually hold her and bring her in. So that proves that one diet which works amazingly for a certain person is not going to work for each and every person. That's the whole issue. And that's why we're discussing the three diets, and we have to see whom it's working for. So how do you exactly choose your perfect diet? Now, there is no one size fits all in any kind of diet or in any kind of holistic way. So you have to consider a few things: the dosha type that we're going to be talking about right now, the health status. Your diet is going to be different if you want to maintain your health and you're already healthy, and if you're all suffering from some kind of illness, if you have arthritis, or if you have digestive issues, or if you have hormonal issues, your diet is going to be different. Not the same diet is going to work for a healthy person and a person who is ill and trying to regain health. Digestive capacity is the second and the most important part. Digestive capacity is truly one of the really important parts, and that's why I have highlighted it in bold letters. People try different diets, but they often don't look at their own digestion, and that's what causes an issue. So you always have to consider your digestive capacity. If you feel bloated, or if you feel tired after eating, or if you have no appetite. So all this is a big part of digestion. And that's why looking at your digestion each time you make a decision to pick a diet is really important for you. Then there's the activity level. A diet is going to be different when you're working out versus when you have a sedentary lifestyle. Even with working out, if you do a lot of cardio, you're going to need more carbs. If you do a lot of weight training, you're going to need more protein at that time, because the structure of the workouts is different. The energy expenditure is different, and different sets of muscles are worked. And there's different demands on the body as well in terms of oxygen or protein as well. So the season, the external environment, that's another huge factor which people don't consider. So it's not the greatest idea to eat California oranges in winter in Sarnia, which is really cold in the winters, right? So that's a bad diet choice. So season, you have to follow the season outside and make sure you're eating the same fruits and vegetables that are available throughout the season, and they're going to be beneficial on your body. The physical, emotional, and spiritual goals. People follow a diet often without thinking about what they really want to achieve. So you have to have a plan of what are your requirements from your food, whether you want to gain strength, whether you want to lose weight, whether you want to gain more energy or more mental clarity, whether you want to feel emotionally unstuck. If you're meditating or have any spiritual practices, you can choose certain diets which are aligned with your spiritual goals as well. So these are really important factors to consider when choosing your perfect diet. So again, the things to consider are your dosha type, your health status, your digestive capacity, your activity level, the season, and also the physical, emotional, spiritual goals, what you really want your diet to do for you. So how do you know what works for you? How do you exactly know what works for you? And that's where Ayurveda comes into picture, because Ayurveda takes the mystery out of you as a human being. As a human being, we're all mysterious. We're all unique. We're all different. We have our own quirks, but Ayurveda is a system which can predict certain things about you. It teaches you to classify people into certain types on the basis of the 5 elements in your body. Now, those of you who are in my Facebook group, Ayurveda for Health and Happiness, we did a 5-element challenge right now, just last week, and it was pretty successful. For those who are really new, I'd like to take a little bit time and talk about the 5 elements first. So there's the ether, there's air, there's fire, water, and earth. So these are the 5 elements found in the nature around us and also in our body, and they form dosha types. Going back to Ayurveda. So Ayurveda is the ancient wisdom of life. It's the oldest medical system known to mankind in the world. It's over 5,000 years old, and it's rooted in Vedas, which are the oldest known science or hymns or documented literature ever. Ayurveda is a complete medical system. We have our diagnostic measures, we have pathological tests, which we do on our own, and we have different healing herbs and different healing modalities. So Ayurveda is a complete system in itself, and Ayurveda just means the science of life or the wisdom of life. So Ayu, the word itself means life, and Ved means science. Therefore, Ayurveda just means the science of life. It is a kind of personalized medicine which looks after your holistic health and happiness. It's specific to your mind, body, spirit, and whatever you want to achieve. Now, in Ayurveda, there are really very important components. It looks at your health, and it also looks at your happiness. Because if you're unhappy, you're not really healthy, you're suffering emotionally. And health and happiness are 2 parts which are integral to each other. A healthy person can be unhappy, but he's not really healthy. And at the same time, a happy person has to be healthy. Otherwise, an unhealthy person is just not going to be happy, because his body systems are not going to work the best. Now, simply put, Ayurveda is your one chance at leading a happy and a meaningful life, where all your systems within your body are in the balance and you live in harmony with the nature. And with systems, I mean your doshas, your 5 elements, your chakras on your spiritual, emotional level, all the system, everything in your body is working in perfect alignment. That's what Ayurveda does for you. Coming back to the 5 elements, there are 5 elements found in the nature and also in our body. If you look at any cavities in the body, that's ether. If you look at any movement in the body, that's air. If you look at your digestion, fire, that's burning the food or breaking down the food, that's fire. The fluids in the body make up the water, and any of the sturdy structures in the body make up the earth element, are made of the earth element. So these 5 elements combine to form certain energies in your body. The energies are known as the doshas, or the 3 doshas. So basically, the doshas are something you have to balance at all times. Dosha, the word itself means that if it's unbalanced, is going to create a huge unbalance in your system. And that's the key to the doshas, is to balance them. There's the Vata dosha, the Pitta dosha, and the Kapha dosha. So what exactly are the doshas? Now doshas, they're your unique blueprint. They dictate everything about you, right from your physiology to your psychology. They determine your behavior, your actions and reactions. When you're out of balance, these doshas can wreak a havoc in your body. And the key to self-love and self-acceptance is to embrace and understand your doshas. So what exactly is a dosha type? Now, dosha type is also known as Prakriti, is also known as your natural state. In your body, each and every person has all three doshas. Now, this is the key. Each and every person on the planet is going to have all three energies in the body, all three doshas. But there could be one dominant, you could have two of them dominant, or it could be a balance of three, or even an imbalance sometimes. So the dominant one, two, or all three determine what's called your dosha type, and dosha types typically dictate your tendencies. The tendencies to movement, tendencies to warmth, and tendencies to stability. Now we've seen so many people, some of them are fidgety. Now, if you see one of your friends who's sitting on the chair, he's always, maybe moving his hands and he's really fidgety. It's very difficult for him to sit stable at all. So that's the tendency to movement, which is the Vata type. There's a tendency for people to feel hot at all times. They're warm-blooded. They are the warriors. They are courageous. They are the ones who will draw a sword when things don't work as they want it to work. So that's a tendency to warmth in the physical emotions. And there's a tendency to anger as well. That's the Pitta type. Then there's the tendency to be stable and not move at all. So there are people who can sit in chair for hours, who are sedentary, who are couch potatoes. They don't like expending any energy. That's the third type. That's the Kapha type. So dosha types basically talk to you about different tendencies that you have. Either it's to movement, either it's to warmth, or it's to stability, or not expending any energy. So here's the fun part. The first one, we come to the Vata type, and a lot of you people are going to resonate with a few of those characters. So classical Vata types have dry, cold, and mobile as the key qualities in their body. So their skin is always going to be dry, they are always going to be cold, and they're always going to be mobile. So the people wanderers, a lot of yoga teachers that I train or teach with, or they are Vata types. Vatas have a natural tendency to pursue yoga because yoga offers them the stability of the mind as well as the body. So these people are lean and thin. They have a small frame. They're always on the go. They're wanderers, gypsies. They're always on the go. They easily lose weight. They have long face, long limbs, dry brittle hair, nails. They hate cold weather, and they have a variable appetite and digestion. They take quick actions without thinking, and they're too fidgety. They're talkative. They have too many things on the go. So a lot of the multitaskers are Vata types, and they're pretty creative and intuitive people. So if you know anyone who's a Vata type, they're great in creativity. A lot of the artists, a lot of psychics, a lot of people who are spiritual can also belong to Vata types because the upper chakras are pretty active. So we go to the Vata diet. What exactly supports a Vata type person? Warm, moist, and easy to digest foods. Because the appetite isn't much, it's variable. Because the digestion isn't steady, it's variable. You need warm, moist, and easy to digest foods. Because of the dry skin, you need good amounts of fat. Because of a tendency to keep moving and expending a lot of energy, you need grounding foods, root vegetables, and whole grains. You need lots of liquid in the diet to make up for the dryness. So soups and stews are fantastic. And because the digestion isn't the best, you're going to need a lot more spices to help with the digestion. So the best diet amongst the three diets that we were talking about, the keto, vegan, and paleo, which are most popular today, we look at the modified keto diet, which will suit Vata types in the best way. And I'm going to talk about what exactly a keto diet is. So a ketogenic diet is a high fat, adequate protein, and low carb diet. So what exactly do we eat on the keto diet? There's a lot of meat, poultry, seafood, eggs, heavy cream, heavy butter, any oils, avocados, vegetables, nuts and seeds. So lots of fat in different forms of food. What they avoid is potatoes, starches, veggies, any kind of sugars and fruit juices. So when you go for really low amounts of sugars and you have lots of fat, your body utilizes fat to burn and form something called ketones, which pass to your brain and can provide energy. And that's why it's known as ketogenic diet. So keto diet, because it's high in fat, can help vata types with a little bit of modification. So modified ketogenic diet, how can you modify it? So you have to add plenty of fats like plants, avocado, coconut butter, and lard. And do not go extremely low carb. Vata types need more energy, so going zero carbs or completely cutting down the carbs is not the best idea. It's not going to ground you. Moderate protein in the form of soups and stews is really good because you need liquids as well, and adding spices to your diet. Like that's one of the keys. So when you have more fat, you also have to make sure you're digesting the fat. So you need to add some kind of spices like black pepper, cinnamon, thyme, oregano, any kind of spices to your diet to help you aid the absorption of fat. Black pepper, cloves, cumin work really well, and turmeric too. And ginger garlic, they're fantastic. So anytime you're using digestive spices, they're going to help support your absorption of fat. So the excess fat that you're taking in the keto diet isn't just passing through, and you're actually utilizing it. The next diet or next type we move is to the pitta type. So pitta type people, they're warm and sharp. So if you look at their body temperature, they're always going to be people who are hot all the time, and they're sharp. They're sharp as a razor, sharp as a scissor or a knife. So you say something to them and they get back to you right away. You take them the wrong way and they get back to you right away. So pitta types have medium frame. They can easily lose or gain weight. They have really sharp features, blonde hair, light eyes. They have premature graying of hair, lots of moles and freckles. There's easy sunburns. They sweat easily. They have a very strong appetite and digestion. So these people are voracious eaters. They're hungry all the time and they can digest any amount of foods at all. They hate warm weather. They're quick tempered. They're sharp, courageous, and they're leaders. They're born leaders. So what should be a pitta diet? So you have to give heavy foods which can be digested easily by adding some spices. Why heavy foods? Because if you give them something light like a salad, they're going to be hungry again in an hour or so. So you have to make sure there's good amount of protein which is going to stay in the body and digest, and they're not hungry all the time because of the sharp digestion. So I'm going to answer the questions later on. I can see some people asking questions, but I'm going to answer that later on. So cooling foods, you have to help cool the body as well, especially in summer season. Now we are in summer. If you start having a lot of heating foods or lots of, hot beverages, or if you go out in the sun, you're going to need more cooling foods as a pitta type, and you have to avoid too many sharp spices. So coriander seeds, cilantro, they're good for you, but too many sharp spices like cloves, cinnamon, cloves especially, and too much of black pepper is not the best for a pitta type. They need lots of hydration. If you have a warm body temperature, you're always sweating, you're going to need much more water. So the diet that would work best for a pitta type person is modified paleo diet, because paleo has good amounts of protein in it. So what exactly is a paleo diet? Paleo diet or Paleolithic diet, caveman diet, Stone Age diet is the diet of the person, like people in the paleo times. So they talk about the diet of hunter-gatherers before we started cultivating grains, and this was what they used to eat. They would eat grass-fed meat, fish, seafood, poultry, eggs, fruits, vegetables, nuts and seeds, healthy oils like walnuts or avocados, anything whole that they can find. But they avoid any processed foods, potatoes, cereal grains, legumes, refined sugar, and refined vegetable oil. Now, with vegan or paleo or keto, there are going to be so many versions of the same diet that I'm just going to refer to a broader sense of the diet. I'm not getting into the percentages or the raw vegan or some specialized kinds within. I'm going to talk about the broader visions. So modified paleo diet, what can you do? If you have good quantity of meat, like I've seen a lot of paleo diet, a lot of trainers and athletes use paleo diet. So what you can do is you can add spices to aid the digestion of meats, because these diets I've seen more or less really heavy in the meats. So they are dominant or rich in protein. So adding some spices to your diet, ginger, garlic, turmeric, they're going to help you digest your meat. You have to ensure that you have good physical activities if you're eating lots of protein. Now, as a nutritionist and as an Ayurvedic practitioner, when I see clients, everyone asks about energy bars. Everyone asks about protein bars, protein powders. But you need excess protein if you're breaking down your own muscle protein by working out. If you're sitting in a chair or if you have a sedentary job, adding too much protein to your diet can do you more harm than good at times. So make sure whenever you have good amounts of protein, you should match your activity levels to that and not have a sedentary lifestyle and then eat tons of protein. Now, people who eat lots of meat or red meat or any kind of protein, the key to balance the protein is to have leafy greens. Now, we've also seen people who have tons of meat products can get uric acid depositions in the body. So leafy greens can help flush things out. And leafy greens really are light and they balance it out. So if you have heavier portions of meat in your diet, please make sure you're adding a side salad, some sauteed greens on the side, or something cooked with spinach or kale to make sure you're balancing the meats. Now, the third kind of body type or dosha type is the kapha types. They are cold, moist, and soft. These are people who resemble teddy bears. These are people who have really pleasant personalities, who are cool, calm, quiet, who have a monotonous voice. And they're really pleasing personalities. So I'm a combination of the kapha and the pitta types. I'm both. And I'm going to address that too. So a large frame, if you look at the wrist and the shoulders, they have a large frame. They have a tendency to gain weight. A kapha type is going to find it really difficult to lose any kind of weight. So, okay. They have dark hair, they have moist eyes, round face, clear skin, they don't get a lot of acne. Slow monotonous voice, minimal sweating, they can tolerate extreme weather. So they're fine in the cold. They have colder bodies, but they're fine. They can handle the cold and they can also handle the heat. So they can actually handle both. They're loving, nurturing, giving. They're very peaceful. They're leaders, but they're quieter leaders. They're not the aggressive ones, but they work best by their own self and they're calm and very gentle. They have a tendency of being introverts too and a little quiet. So the kapha diet, it's easy. You have to make sure there's easily digesting light foods. And by light, I mean something that's not really heavy. Light foods would be like salads or leafy greens. You can saute the greens, anything that's not heavily starchy or high protein or high fat, like the easier vegetables, green beans and Swiss chard, any kind of, greens, except for the starchy beets, carrots and stuff. They're easy to digest. Lots of leafy greens and non-starchy veggies, that's the key. You have to have spices to aid digestion. Kapha digestion is a little slow. So they take some time to digest and they're not hungry often. If you see a pitta type, he's going to be hungry all the time. Whereas a kapha person is not going to be hungry all the time. So they have really slower appetite, slower digestion, and limited amounts of fats and oils. Now with kapha diet, there's a tendency to store in the body. So if you have excess oils or fats, these are the people who can store fat easily. So that's why you have to limit fats and oils, like take the fat and oil, but make sure it's not too much. Now the best of the modern 3 diets to work for a kapha type is going to be a modified vegan diet. So what exactly is a vegan diet? A vegan diet is something that contains only plant and plant-based foods and avoids any animal foods at all. What typically to eat on a vegan diet is plants, vegetables, roots, fruits, nut seeds, nut milks, nut butters, plant oils. What they avoid is all kind of dairy, all meats, all poultry, fish oils, anything that's animal based. Even honey is debatable. Some people completely avoid honey, whereas some are okay with having honey. So any kind of animal based products, like pure vegans don't even use leather or anything that's remotely animal sourced. So how do you modify a vegan diet? For kapha type, minimal raw foods, because you have to make sure the digestion is good. Cooked foods are easier to digest than a lot of raw foods. Light and easily digesting leafy greens, fruits like berries and not high starchy foods like bananas, and non-starchy vegetables as well. So beans and lentils would work as a good source of energy for proteins instead of having too many nuts and seeds. Nuts and seeds are nutritionally dense. So cutting down on having too many nuts and seeds and using beans and lentils instead work fantastic. And avoid any heavy tofu products. Maybe once or twice a week is fine, but not all the time. And beans and lentils, because vegan diet, one of the most common things they see is there's not too many protein. Like a lot of vegans are seen to have inadequate protein amounts in the diet. So a bean and rice combination has complete protein. That's what it's called. So that's how you can easily modify a vegan diet to suit your kapha type. So the key to a healthy and happy life is to embrace Ayurveda. And Ayurveda is nothing but the science of life. Ayurveda is your inner intellect, and everyone follows Ayurveda without knowing that you're following it. So one example I can give you, if you're really cold, you're going to turn to a hot cup of tea. That's right there, you're practicing Ayurveda. If you're really hot on the inside and you're sweating, then you're going to turn to something cooling. You're going to have watermelon or melon in the summer season. You're trying to do the opposites to balance your body. That itself is about an Ayurvedic practice. So now I want to share with you something that I can help you to embrace Ayurveda. This is my program. It's an 8-week course that I'm starting for the first time. I've done tons of different trainings in person. I've held workshops over the few times. I've held workshops in Vancouver, some in Sarnia, but this is an online program to kind of avoid the constraints of time and space. So all the people can meet online no matter where they are. And this solves the problem. The program is known as Ayurveda Secrets for Body, Mind, and Spirit. And it's an 8-week transformative journey. What I teach you is how to understand your unique dosha type, how exactly you are made, what's the proportion of doshas in your body. Are you a vata, are you a pitta, are you a kapha, or are you a combination dosha type? And how to choose the exact foods, the exact mindset, the exact lifestyle choices that support your dosha type and your being. I also teach you how to maintain your health, gain energy, balance your body, and prevent any kind of diseases. So what you get is 8 weekly live calls, 2 bonus videos and worksheets. You get a private Facebook group with direct support from me, and you get lifetime access to the entire programs, any audios, any worksheets, any PDFs, videos you can keep for your entire lifetime. So I would love to start the Q&A. Okay. Right now, and let's see where we can, oh, where did that go? Okay, so we'll go to the chat now, and okay, and I'll just stop the screen share and I'll go back. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is in the chat itself, I'm going to type the link to the Ayurveda Secrets program. So it's on special, like the price is going to hike in a few days, so you can have a look at the program. And now I will answer any questions that you have. Okay. Try to find the voice. I can see the slides. So see you. I'm a Pitta. I'm so pitta, I'm hungry all the time and can eat everything. Okay. Okay. So this is perfect. So I'm going to stop